Hello and welcome. Okay, so let's get right to it. We're going to compare the Jet JS480 versus the Jet JS400. What's the differences? They're quite similar. Let's check them out. Okay, so the JS480 is clocking in at about £345, £350, whereas the JS400 is clocking in at about £200, depending on where you buy it, retailer, and if there's sales on, etc. Right, so is it worth the difference in cash? Let's find out. Right, so let's start off with what they've got the same. They've probably got more in common than what sets them apart. So what we have here is two S-type guitars, HSS configuration. They both have master tone, master volume, 5-way selector switch, and they've got their jack outputs, socket on the side of the guitar. Another great feature that both of these have is the rounded neck heel contour access. Super duper comfortable, absolutely love this feature. It's a very welcome addition. Now, what Jet do the absolute best? Wait a minute, I've just realised that this feels like a total Jet ad. I should mention, the Jet JS480 was sent to me by Jet for review, no payment, I don't get to keep the guitar, I've got to send it back. And the Jet JS400 here, this is my own, and yes, I've changed the pickguard on it. It's supposed to have a torque pickguard. Anywho, getting back to it, the best thing about the Jet guitars that I love, the reason that I use Jet guitars, the reason that my #1 guitar that I gig with is a Jet guitar, check out the link in the description, it's modded, is the neck profile. You need to check out the Jet necks. If you like Fender guitars, especially Fender players, you're going to love the Jet neck profile. Okay, so on both of these guitars we've got roasted maple neck, 22 frets, modern C-shape, 9.5 inch radius. Mwah! That's what we're after. On the Jet JS400 we've got a roasted maple fretboard, and with the 400 there are some other options. I think if you get some colours like maybe the shell pink, there's a rosewood fretboard option. And they've also got some other options like a hardtail and single humbucker, a little bit like that Blink 186 thing. So there's a few different options with the 400 series. With the 480 series, the only option for a fretboard that they have is rosewood, real rosewood, which is good to see. Also, I should mention, on both these guitars, they have ever so slightly rounded fretboard edges that they don't even advertise. And again, they're super duper comfortable. So that's a little bit like the Player 2 Strat. So anywho, the only option we have for the 480 is rosewood. I think in future we might see roasted maple, but for me, it's a little bit of a deal breaker because I'm not a fan of rosewood fretboards, but that's just me. What do you think? What's your favourite fretboard material? Let me know in the comments. So other similarities are of course the headstock, and they have bone nuts, and they both have 2-point trims. Now this is the point where we're going to get into the differences. Right, so let's check out the differences and why this Jet JS480 is more expensive than the Jet JS400. So the first thing is the body material. On the JS400 we have a basswood body, whereas on the JS480 we have roasted poplar. Have you ever heard of that? Apparently it's a thing. So if you're a tonewood person, then maybe that means something to you. Personally, doesn't mean much to me, but there you go. What I will mention is the weight of this particular JS400 is quite heavy. I'll put the weight on screen compared to the 480, which apparently with the roasted poplar they're expecting to be a little bit more consistent with the weight. and this one's a much more manageable weight for me. Okay, so another upgrade on the JS480 is lock-in tuners, which is a welcome addition. And you might notice that they're gold. That's because another upgrade is all gold hardware. You can see we've got gold lock-in tuners, we've got a gold string tree, which is the butterfly one. We've got a gold 2-point trem, which is Jet branded. We're going to get back to that soon. We've of course got gold pickguard screws. They've really went to town with the gold.
I love gold!
We've got the strap buttons, the jack socket, and even the pole pieces on the humbucker are gold. Which is quite a nice touch. Usually I'm not that big of a fan of gold hardware. It would never be my first choice, but I've got to admit, I think it looks pretty classy against this wine red metallic. Actually, it's just called wine red, but it does have some metallic through it, and it's a really good looking colour. Speaking of which, it comes in a nice purple colour too, and there are some other colours which I have put on screen for you right now. So you might be thinking, okay, so the only differences between the 480 and the 400 is gold hardware, lock-in tuners and a roasted poplar body. Well, almost. There's one more difference, and that is the pickups. Now, this was a massive surprise. The pickups on the 400, they're decent. They're ceramic pickups. The humbucker's not that great, but the ceramic single coils are quite good. But on this 480, these are the sleepers. Absolute stars of the show. HSS Alnico 5, Jet's own brand of pickups, and they are so good. I absolutely love these pickups. They're right up my street. They're very sort of low output, vintage voiced. They sound kind of thin and glassy, but super articulate, fantastic for cleans. And like I say, I just absolutely love them. When it comes to the Jet JS400, I would usually want to upgrade the pickups, and that's what I did on my other Jet JS400 that I gig like all the time. It's my number one, and there's a video on that one that I've super modded. You could check it out up there if you like. But on the 480, no need at all to upgrade these pickups. In my opinion, if you like a sort of hotter sound, then you might want to change them. But for me, loving these. Now, I do need to mention with the JS480, this particular trem I did have some tuning problems with, which was quite unfortunate because I did an unboxing with this guitar, tested the trem, and it stayed in tune. But since then, I've used it quite a lot and it just will not stay in tune. There's potentially a problem with the knife edge not being sharp enough, but not really confirmed that yet. But it's not too stable. No problems at all with the nut, that's cut very well. It seems to be an issue with the trem, which is a shame. But if you're the kind of person that decks your trem, then probably no problem at all. Or just be prepared to potentially upgrade this. Speaking of which, an upgrade for Jet would maybe be if they used the trem from the Jet JS400, but the old one, the one that they used to use that had the MVB saddles on it, this trem is pretty good. That other JS400 that I mentioned before that I modded, I actually put a GoTo 510 trem on there, which is an incredible trem, but it's actually not a massive upgrade over the stock trem here. So this one, and if you want it in gold, put it in gold, but that would be a good upgrade. Or they could use this Wilkinson M series trem on the Jet JS450. And yes, this is another one of my Jets, and yes, it's absolutely beautiful. Video in the works on that one too. Okay, so what do you think? Have you got any experience with the Jet guitars, the 400 or the 480? Any preferences? Have you tried any of them? What do you think? Let me know your experiences in the comments. Okay, so if you've enjoyed the video, please do hit the old like button, that helps things. And maybe consider subscribing to the channel if you like this sort of thing, because I've done quite a lot of HSS Strat comparisons, particularly Jet guitars. I've compared the Jets with Harley Benton ST Moderns, that's not it, there it is. There you go, or if you want to see that Jet JS400, that's coming soon. There's also a weekly format on the channel. Wednesdays, I do a community poll post where we vote on something guitar related. It could be anything. We could be talking about pickups, your favourite finish, your favourite picks that you want to use, strings, anything. And then on Thursdays, I do a live stream called Hammering On About, every Thursday, 7:30 PM UK, where we talk about the results from the poll the previous day, and we basically just hang out and have good, fun guitar times. That's a thing, yeah. And then every Friday, 6 PM UK, we do the normal Friday uploads like this one right now. That's what happens. So it'd be great to see you there if you can make it. So, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Until next time, see you later.